As the year starts winding down, everyone starts thinking about goals they have for next year, or maybe goals they didn't really get to this year. So if you're asking yourself, should you start a YouTube channel? My answer is yes. Before I talk about how to get started, I want to quickly preface by saying you are never too late. There's not a right or wrong time to start on YouTube. If it's something that you've been wanting to do, I say just go for it. You really will never know what it's going to be like until you try, and you might start and a few months later say this isn't for me, but at least you tried it and you know what it's actually like. In 2024, my big goal was to be consistent with YouTube and mostly to get monetized. In order to get monetized, my goal was to create a weekly video. Sometimes I did 2 videos, but for the most part, I think I only skipped 3 weeks out of this entire year and didn't post a video. And I feel like I had very valid reasons for those weeks. So I'm not too mad at myself of getting behind and not being able to get a video up because of the things that were happening those weeks. So overall, I definitely achieved this goal and then some, because most weeks I was doing 2 videos a week. I was doing vlogs on Friday. I just really learned how much I enjoy editing videos and posting on YouTube, and how much safer I feel on YouTube and more comfortable, like all the things. If you want to hear my thoughts on switching from Instagram to YouTube, I also have a video that you can watch. I think it's up here or over here. It's somewhere up there. I really suck at sticking to habits as much as I want to do them. If I am not interested in it, well, not even that, because sometimes I do really want to achieve a habit and then I just forget about it. But what I've learned is that if I really do truly enjoy something, I will make time for it. I'm learning that all the goals and habits I had been previously trying to force myself into were not things that I was interested in, and it felt more like a chore than anything. So I'm happy I found something that makes me excited and happy. Then that gives me a little bit of wiggle room to do the things I don't enjoy as much, because you can't always be hating the things you're doing. If I wouldn't have given it a true shot this year, I wouldn't have learned so much about video editing. I wouldn't have learned that I enjoyed it. I wouldn't have learned that I'm good at it. I feel like I'm good at it, but I mean, there's obviously more skilled people out there, but I feel like I'm pretty good at it. And yeah, I feel like I learned a lot this year, and so I'm really glad I took the leap of faith and started posting every week. So if I were starting all over today, here is what I would do. First, I would make a list of topic ideas, then decide how frequently I want to post. And then if I truly felt like it, I would start scripting the videos. Let's start with step 1 of making a list of ideas. What I want you to do is sit down with pen and paper or Notion or whatever and just start listing out as many ideas as you can think of. Don't even think about, is this a good idea yet? Or can I do this? Or how long will it take? Don't think of anything else. Just brain dump all of the ideas you have in your mind right now. Think about things like, do you want to do studio vlogs? Do you want to do packing orders? Do you want to do designing videos? Those types of things you can do frequently. Are you going to be sharing small business tips? If so, is it going to be starting a business? Is it going to be how to design? Is it going to be using Procreate? What do you actually want to focus on within that big umbrella of business topics? Basically, just let yourself write down as many ideas as you can come up with. At this point, it doesn't matter if they are a good or bad idea. You just have to let your mind release all those ideas. Once you have a list made, you can kind of take that and decide how frequently you want to post. Let's say you came up with 100 ideas. Realistically, that means you could probably easily do 1 video a week because you have so many ideas ready to go. If you came up with 20 ideas, maybe you do 1 every other week to start, and then maybe as you get going, you come up with more ideas, and then you can increase it to weekly. But I would basically take a look at it and say, based on how many ideas I have, how many videos could I make? Also take into consideration, how much time do you have available to be filming? I recommend just starting with 1 a week, and then as you have more ideas that really feel like you want to post that week, do 2 weeks. But I would commit to 1 a week, and then every once in a while do 2 a week. If you are consistently to a point where you're doing 2 a week, you have more time, you have more ideas, then maybe you do 2 or 3 a week. It really doesn't matter what day you post, just pick a day, stick with it, so your viewers will know, okay, on Mondays or Tuesdays, they have a new video and I can check back in. Because people do start to learn those things and they want to check back in and see when you have new content. If you're feeling up to it and you really are gung-ho, ready to start today, you can start scripting your videos. I do recommend scripting videos because I feel like it helps keep your thoughts together. It helps you know like what B-roll you want. If you want to change positions when you are filming, you can write that in. That's how I script things, is if as I'm typing, I'm like, oh yeah, here would be a good time to put B-roll of this. I make a note of that so I don't forget when editing or when filming to film that, or to find a file that would would work for that. Sometimes I know a video is going to be longer and I want to change scenes essentially. And so I will break it up based on how long it is. Okay, now move to this room or move to this spot, just to make things a little bit more visually interesting. You don't need to really script word for word what you're gonna say, but I do find it helpful to have some talking points ready to go. And as you get going, you might find that you need less scripting. But for me, someone with ADHD, I get off on tangents and I find it really helpful to have things scripted out. It also comes in handy if you were to use these as blog posts, because then you already have things written out and you don't have to retype everything. You have a good baseline there and you can kind of edit it to be more blog post friendly if that is something you're wanting to do. If you're like me, I would just go ahead and start scripting. I like to script a few videos at a time, and it's usually done ahead of time so that when it's time for filming, I have a few videos I can choose from that are ready to be filmed. Definitely recommend scripting if you have a little brain like mine. Now that you have your ideas, your schedule, and you've potentially scripted some videos, you are ready to film. I am currently using a Sony ZV-1 and I use this tripod. Sometimes I'll set it up on stuff like that to get a better view. I highly recommend this camera. I feel like it's a very great beginner vlogging camera. I haven't really had too many issues with it. I feel like the sound is good, the lighting's usually good. I use it to take photos. I love how compact it is and I can take it traveling with me. So overall, highly recommend this camera setup because it has made my videos, I feel like, a lot better. I usually will use my phone as well for B-roll or time lapses I will do on my phone. Sometimes I will film vlogs with my phone if my camera's dead or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, using the Sony ZV-1. You don't need to start with this. Your iPhone is perfectly fine. And I think what's most important is to develop the habit first of posting every single week and getting comfortable talking to the camera, because I will say I definitely struggled with that at the beginning and I feel like I'm a lot better with it now and not so rigid. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot easier today than it was back in January. So definitely give yourself some grace and don't worry about other people seeing your videos or judging you or anything like that. Don't let any of that outside noise affect you. Just have a good time and film your videos. If I were starting today in December, I would be filming, editing, and scheduling my videos for January so that I have a few videos already ready to go. And that gives me a little bit of a buffer time that gets you through the holidays, that gets you through the new year, and you still have videos scheduled. Whenever I have time in my schedule to do more than one video a week, I will usually schedule it out and not make it be 2 videos a week, 2 like big videos a week. I just find that it's helpful to always have a little bit of buffer because you never know what next week is gonna bring. And I have had that happen where it's like the next week comes and yeah, there's no way I was gonna be able to film and edit that video. So whenever I can work ahead, I will. It's usually not often. You got this. All you need to do is start. If you have any questions about creating YouTube videos or anything like that, editing, let me know. I'm always happy to help. If you want to hire me to edit your videos, send me an email. I'd love to chat about that. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day and I will see you next time.